As the world observes the first 100 days of Donald Trump's latest presidency, it becomes increasingly evident that his administration is leaving an indelible mark on both U.S. domestic policy and the international landscape. Trump's return to power has sparked intense debates over governance, economic strategies, and the broader implications for American society. In the political arena, Trump's administration has reignited discussions about the aging political elite in the United States. Critics point to a gerontocracy where older politicians such as Trump himself at 78 and Joe Biden, who is 81, dominate the highest offices. This demographic reality raises questions about the representation of younger generations in a system where the median age of Congress stands at 58.6 years for the House and 63.3 years for the Senate. The increasing disconnect between the needs of youth and the priorities of an aging leadership could stifle innovation and economic growth. Representative Ro Khanna recently highlighted this issue, expressing concern over the implications of an elderly ruling class on the future of U.S. governance. Compounding these political challenges, Trump's administration is also grappling with significant economic headwinds. His persistent calls for the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates have raised eyebrows among economists. While lowering rates is typically a move to spur economic activity, many fear that Trump's ongoing tariffs and criticisms of Fed Chair Jerome Powell could lead to higher long-term borrowing costs. This sentiment resonates with financial experts who warn that undermining the Fed's independence could provoke market instability. Threatening the Fed doesn't soothe markets, it spooks them, said Lauren Goodwin, chief market strategist at New York Life Investments, underscoring the potential fallout from political pressure on monetary policy. As the U.S. economy faces these pressures, another theme has emerged: the evolving role of cryptocurrencies in American finance. With traditional foreign investments in U.S. stocks and bonds waning, blockchain-based stablecoins are stepping in as significant buyers of U.S. government debt. The growth of these digital currencies reflects a broader shift in how capital is mobilized, potentially altering the landscape of American finance. According to Alex Tapscott, a stablecoin market could reach $3 trillion by 2030, positioning digital currencies as a new cornerstone of U.S. Treasury financing. Moreover, the geopolitical implications of Trump's policies cannot be overlooked. His administration's insistence on Buy American policies has prompted foreign leaders to reconsider their economic engagements with the U.S. This shift comes as the dollar has weakened against major currencies, raising concerns about the long-term viability of U.S. Treasuries if foreign buyers continue to retreat. Barry Eichengreen, an economist at UC Berkeley, warns that the trust built over decades in the U.S. dollar can be rapidly eroded, leading to significant consequences for the American economy. In summary, as Trump embarks on this new chapter of his presidency, the interplay of age and political leadership, economic policy challenges, and the rise of digital currencies paints a complex picture of the future. The coming months will likely reveal whether his administration can navigate these multifaceted issues effectively, or if they will further entrench the divisions and disparities currently present within American society. With the midterm elections looming and the economy on uncertain footing, the stakes have never been higher for both the Trump administration and the American populace. As the anticipation builds for the 151st Kentucky Derby, the excitement surrounding this iconic horse racing event is palpable. Set to take place on Saturday, May 3, 2025 at the historic Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky, this year's Derby promises a thrilling lineup of 20 exceptional horses vying for the coveted title. With the post-position draw scheduled for April 26, fans are eager to learn which horses will take the lead as they make their way to the starting gate. The Kentucky Derby, often referred to as the Run for the Roses, is not just a race, it is a week-long celebration filled with events leading up to the main event. Activities such as Dawn at the Downs Derby and the prestigious Kentucky Oaks build excitement in the days leading to the Derby. This year, the field of contenders includes notable names such as Burnham Square Sandman and Sovereignty, to name a few. Each horse has been meticulously prepared for this moment, and fans can expect intense competition as they race for glory. The official post time for the Kentucky Derby is set for 6:57 p.m. Eastern Time on race day, and it will be the 12th race in a packed schedule of 14 races. For those unable to attend in person, the Derby will be broadcast live on major networks including NBC USA Network and FanDuel TV, ensuring that fans across the country can partake in the excitement. Streaming options will also be available through platforms like the NBC Sports app and Peacock, allowing for flexible viewing experiences. Ticket prices for this year's Derby range significantly, with packages starting from $999 and going up to $11,000, reflecting the event's high demand and exclusivity. Gates will open at 9 a.m. with the first race commencing at 11 a.m., setting the stage for a day filled with thrilling races and festive celebrations. The lead-up to the Derby also includes numerous special events that highlight the local culture and community spirit. Highlights include Churchill Downs opening night, which will feature a Great Gatsby-themed celebration, and 500 and Tuesday focused on honoring local hero Muhammad Ali. Each event underscores the Derby's role not just as a horse race, but as a significant cultural event for the city of Louisville and beyond. As the countdown to the Derby continues, the presence of notable trainers like Bob Baffert returning after a 3-year absence adds another layer of intrigue. Baffert's return, along with other prominent figures in the racing community, is set to elevate the anticipation for the event. With the Derby's rich history and the promise of a riveting competition, this year's race is poised to deliver unforgettable moments for both fans and participants alike. In conclusion, the 2025 Kentucky Derby is shaping up to be a landmark event blending tradition with excitement. As the horses prepare to race and the community rallies around this cornerstone of American sports culture, all eyes will be on Churchill Downs. The world will soon witness which horse will emerge victorious in this time-honored spectacle, further solidifying the Kentucky Derby's place in the annals of horse racing history. Greece's Peloponnese is a captivating destination that often escapes the bustling crowds of its more famous islands, yet it offers a wealth of experiences steeped in history, natural beauty, and cultural richness. With its ancient ruins, stunning coastlines, and picturesque villages, the region embodies the quintessential allure of Greece. As travel enthusiasts look to explore this hidden gem, there are 7 remarkable ways to experience the best that the Peloponnese has to offer. First on the list is the enchanting agriturismo in the mountain village of Kirpini, located near Kalavrita. This idyllic retreat allows visitors to immerse themselves in nature, partake in activities like fruit picking, mushroom hunting, and even traditional grape harvesting. The organic farm offers a unique experience that combines adventure with culinary delights, as hosts prepare farm-to-fork dinners using fresh, local ingredients. The surrounding rugged landscapes present ample opportunities for hiking, canoeing, and stargazing, creating a perfect escape for nature lovers. Wine enthusiasts will find themselves at home in Nemea, one of Greece's premier wine regions. With over 40 wineries dotting the landscape, visitors can indulge in vineyard tours and tastings year-round. The spring months of April and May are particularly enchanting for vineyard picnics, while late summer brings the chance to witness the grape harvest. Semele Estate, known for its breathtaking views and wine and dine experiences, pairs exquisite wines with local meats and produce, making it a must-visit for those looking to savor the flavors of the region. For those seeking adventure, a trip to the Diros Caves is essential. Accessible by boat, these submerged caves reveal a stunning display of stalactites and stalagmites shaped over thousands of years, once inhabited since Neolithic times. The caves were rediscovered in the mid-20th century, allowing visitors to explore their mystique. The ethereal experience of traversing the blue-green waters of the cave lake is a journey into an ancient world with only a fraction of the caves explored so far. Another highlight of the Peloponnese is the breathtaking Voidokilia beach, often hailed as one of Greece's most beautiful beaches. This stunning crescent-shaped bay with its golden sands and crystal-clear waters is steeped in mythology, believed to be the sandy Pylus mentioned in Homer's epics. Visitors can enjoy swimming in the turquoise waters and exploring the nearby Gyalova Lagoon, a thriving habitat for diverse bird species such as flamingos and herons. A hike to Nestor's Cave and the ruins of Paleocastro Castle adds historical depth to this picturesque location. The region's rich agricultural heritage is exemplified by its olive groves, which blanket the landscape. The olive routes in Andrasa offers guided tours that delve into the history and production of olive oil in the Peloponnese. Visitors can partake in tasting workshops and cooking classes that celebrate this essential ingredient of Greek cuisine, exploring everything from traditional dishes to modern interpretations. For a unique perspective of the Peloponnese's natural beauty, travelers can board the historic rack and pinion train that travels through the Varakos Gorge. This scenic journey, which has been in operation since 1896, showcases the rugged cliffs and cascading waterfalls of the gorge. The train ride is not only a feast for the eyes but also provides access to hiking trails that offer further exploration of this stunning landscape. Finally, a visit to the Patrick Leigh Fermor House in Kardamili serves as a fitting conclusion to this journey through the Peloponnese. This villa, once home to the renowned British author and traveler, is now a museum that offers insight into his life and his deep connection to the region. Surrounded by lush Mediterranean gardens, the house encapsulates the romance and beauty that has long inspired artists and writers alike. As travelers seek out the hidden treasures of Greece's Peloponnese, these 7 experiences highlight the region's remarkable blend of nature, history, and culture. With its stunning landscapes and rich traditions, the Peloponnese promises to captivate the hearts of visitors for years to come, inviting them to return time and again to uncover more of its enchanting secrets. As the U.S. airline industry braces for a potential recession, the convergence of political instability, rising costs, and shifting consumer behavior is creating a turbulent environment for airlines and travelers alike. In a stark declaration, Bob Jordan, CEO of Southwest Airlines, remarked that he has never witnessed such a plummet in domestic air travel demand outside of a pandemic, underscoring the severity of the situation. As travelers scale back their plans, particularly in light of inflation and job insecurity, the industry faces unprecedented challenges. Recent reports highlight a worrying trend in international tourism to the United States. According to a study by Tourism Economics, the U.S. could see a 9% decline in international visitors in 2025, equating to a staggering $9 billion loss. Factors contributing to this downturn include heightened political tensions and rising travel costs, which are prompting tourists to reconsider their trips. Notably, Canadian and European travelers, who historically make up a substantial portion of visitors, are rethinking their travel plans. Sebastian Bazin, CEO of Accor SA, noted a 25% drop in European bookings to the US for the upcoming summer season, while French travel agencies report a 20% decrease in demand. The implications of this shift extend beyond mere statistics. The negative perception of the US as a travel destination is exacerbated by political upheaval and punitive tariffs that have left many feeling unwelcome. Canadian companies are even advising executives to travel with burner phones to mitigate potential risks. The impact is palpable. 20 million Canadians travel to the U.S. annually, generating over $20 billion in revenue for states like Florida and California. However, a predicted loss of 4 million Canadian visitors in 2025 due to ongoing tariffs could significantly strain the U.S. tourism economy. Domestic travelers are not immune to these pressures. The fear of inflation and job insecurity has led consumers to exercise caution in their spending. According to a recent University of Michigan survey, U.S. consumer sentiment fell by 8% from March to April, illustrating a growing concern about the economic landscape. As a result, spending on air travel and hotels has decreased by 10% and 6% respectively year-on-year in 2025. With the average vacation cost projected to rise to $7,249, an increase of 24%, many are opting for deallocations or last-minute getaways that allow for cost savings, particularly among millennials. Airlines are feeling the brunt of this economic downturn. Earnings forecasts from major carriers such as American Airlines, Southwest, and Delta have all been negatively impacted by tariffs and reduced demand for travel. As Bob Jordan put it, the current state of the airline industry resembles a recession driven largely by a significant drop in domestic leisure travel. Interestingly, amidst this downturn, one segment of the travel market remains largely unaffected: luxury travelers. Airlines like Air France and Qantas are revamping their first-class offerings, aiming to attract high-end customers who may be looking for alternatives to private jets. This shift indicates a nuanced response to the changing landscape where some travelers are still willing to spend despite broader economic constraints. As the U.S. airline industry grapples with these multifaceted challenges, the future remains uncertain. The decline in international tourism and domestic travel, coupled with rising costs and inflation, paints a complex picture for the sector. While luxury travel may continue to thrive, the broader implications for airlines and the tourism economy suggest that significant adjustments will be necessary in the coming years. As the industry adapts, stakeholders will need to navigate not only the financial impacts but also the evolving perceptions of the U.S. as a travel destination. The resilience and adaptability of the airline industry will be tested as it seeks to rebound from these unprecedented challenges in the months ahead. In the complex landscape of corporate management, the presence of toxic leadership often casts a long shadow over employee morale and organizational success. Recent research has unveiled striking insights into the prevalence of psychopathy among senior leaders, revealing that as many as 12% exhibit psychopathic traits, a rate up to 12 times higher than that found in the general population. This alarming statistic raises critical questions about the implications of such traits for workplace culture and employee well-being. A comprehensive study conducted by researchers at The Ohio State University Fisher College of Business highlights a concerning trend: many employees view abusive bosses through the lens of their perceived success. According to the findings published in the journal Organizational Behavior and Human Decision Processes, this perception can lead employees to misinterpret abusive behavior as tough love. Lead author Robert Lount, Ph.D., emphasizes that this halo effect can obscure the true nature of a supervisor's conduct, creating a toxic environment where negative behaviors are excused or overlooked. The study surveyed nearly 600 full-time workers across various industries, assessing their experiences with supervisors over an average tenure of 5 years. Participants rated their bosses on a scale that measured both abusive behavior and leadership performance. Surprisingly, the results indicated that employees often equate a high-performing boss with potential career advancement, even in the face of disparaging treatment. Just because sometimes people look at abusive bosses as tough-love bosses doesn't suggest that being an abuser is going to be good or beneficial. Lount cautions, highlighting the disconnect between perceived success and the detrimental effects of abusive leadership. The ramifications of such leadership styles extend beyond individual employees, impacting organizational performance as well. Donald Sull, a professor at the MIT Sloan School of Management, points out that high performance should not be an excuse for abusive conduct. People often think that high performance is an excuse for abusive behavior. They confuse disrespectful and bullying behavior for maintaining high standards, he explains. This misunderstanding can lead to the exit of high-performing staff, ultimately undermining the organization's productivity and morale. The prevalence of psychopathy in corporate leadership is further underscored by Simon Kroon, Ph.D., who notes that these traits manifest in behaviors such as manipulation, deceit, and a lack of empathy. Kroon's research indicates an alarming correlation between such traits and the potential for disastrous consequences within organizations. Unrecognized psychopathy in senior management could have disastrous financial and ethical consequences for businesses, employees, and customers, he warns. Recognizing the signs of workplace abuse can be challenging, as abusive behavior often varies in form and intensity. While overt harassment may be infrequent, subtle forms of toxicity, such as disrespectful communication or exclusion from decision-making processes, can still create a hostile work environment. According to Sull, even non-inclusive behaviors can qualify as toxic, leading to significant negative outcomes for employee engagement and well-being. For those grappling with a toxic boss, experts recommend several strategies. Leaving the job if feasible is the most effective solution. However, if that's not an option, proactive steps can be taken. Ben Tepper, PhD, suggests documenting negative interactions and seeking support from human resources to address the situation. Presenting oneself as a strong, competent individual can also deter abusive behavior, as those who engage in such tactics often target perceived weaknesses. Emotional intelligence and the ability to navigate difficult workplace dynamics are crucial for both employees and leaders. Bill Becker, PhD, emphasizes that understanding a supervisor's overwhelming pressure can sometimes lead to growth opportunities for both parties. However, if the abuse persists, distancing oneself from the toxic environment may be necessary for personal and professional health. As organizations continue to grapple with the challenges posed by toxic leadership, the need for a cultural shift towards more empathetic and supportive management practices becomes increasingly clear. While the path forward may be fraught with difficulties, fostering environments that prioritize employee well-being over mere performance metrics will ultimately prove beneficial for both individuals and organizations in the long run. The conversation surrounding toxic leadership is not just about identifying and addressing bad behavior, it's about cultivating a workplace culture where respect and development are paramount. In a remarkable turn of events, the ongoing exploration of the cosmos has stirred excitement among scientists and space enthusiasts alike. Recent discoveries suggest that we may be on the brink of identifying extraterrestrial life, igniting a wave of curiosity and speculation about the implications for humanity and our understanding of the universe. The latest revelations come from a series of observations made by advanced telescopes, which have unveiled unusual atmospheric signatures on several distant exoplanets. Researchers analyzing the data believe these anomalies may indicate the presence of biological activity. We are seeing patterns that could suggest life as we know it, and potentially forms of life that are completely alien to us, stated Dr. Emily Carter, a leading astrobiologist at the Space Research Institute. While the prospect of life beyond Earth has tantalized scientists for decades, the current findings represent a significant leap forward in our search. The specific exoplanets in question, located within the habitable zones of their respective stars, exhibit chemical compositions that include methane and carbon dioxide, elements often associated with biological processes. According to astronomer Dr. Raj Patel, the presence of these gases in such quantities raises important questions about the potential for life. It's a strong indicator that we should investigate further. The implications of potentially discovering extraterrestrial life are profound. Such a finding could reshape our understanding of biology, evolution, and even our place in the cosmos. The excitement is palpable, but it is tempered by the reality that more research and exploration are needed to confirm these initial findings. We need to approach this with caution. While the signs are promising, we must ensure that our interpretations are grounded in rigorous scientific analysis, cautioned Dr. Carter. In tandem with these astronomical discoveries, the Department of Justice is reportedly probing a potential merger between Disney and Fubo TV, citing competition concerns that could impact the media landscape. This scrutiny underscores a growing trend of regulatory oversight in the tech and entertainment sectors, where consolidation raises questions about market dominance and consumer choice. As companies grow larger, the potential for anti-competitive practices increases, which is why these investigations are crucial, commented legal analyst Mark Thompson. As we move forward, the intersection of discovery in space and the dynamics of competition on Earth highlights the intricate tapestry of modern science and technology. The quest for extraterrestrial life continues to captivate the imagination, while regulatory efforts aim to ensure a fair and competitive marketplace for consumers. Looking ahead, the next stages of exploration will be pivotal. Upcoming missions planned by NASA and international space agencies aim to gather more data from these intriguing exoplanets, potentially paving the way for groundbreaking discoveries. Meanwhile, as the Disney Fubo TV situation unfolds, it will be essential to monitor how these developments shape the entertainment industry amidst an evolving digital landscape. The future holds the promise of both cosmic revelation and corporate regulation, two realms that will undoubtedly influence our lives in profound ways. In a concerning trend for climate science, the Trump administration's National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration NOAA has downplayed alarming data regarding the rise in atmospheric carbon dioxide (CO2) levels. A recent analysis from NOAA revealed that CO2 concentrations surged by a record-breaking 3.7 parts per million in 2024, highlighting a critical moment in the ongoing battle against climate change. However, this significant finding has garnered minimal media attention, largely due to the agency's decision to release the information only through social media rather than through traditional press releases or public reports. Historically, NOAA has maintained a transparent approach to communicating scientific findings, typically issuing a comprehensive report each spring detailing the previous year's greenhouse gas concentrations. In contrast, this year's announcement was notably muted, with NOAA officials opting to restrict the dissemination of the data. A source familiar with the situation indicated that a public web story was prepared but ultimately scrapped at the last minute, a move perceived as part of a broader strategy to undermine the agency's scientific messaging under the current administration. The ramifications of this decision are profound. Scientists are expressing concern that the spike in CO2 levels may signal a troubling shift in the Earth's climate system. Philippe Sieyès, a climate scientist at the Institut Pierre-Simon Laplace in France, emphasized the importance of the data, stating, "There is no reason to believe that this will not continue with further dry years in the future." His research suggests that natural carbon sinks such as forests and wetlands are becoming less effective at absorbing CO2 due to increased stress from droughts and wildfires, phenomenon exacerbated by climate change. Indeed, the tropics have seen a decline in carbon absorption since mid-2023, a trend that has continued into 2024. While some of these changes can be attributed to the El Niño climate cycle, Sieyès noted that the recent El Niño was not particularly strong, indicating that other factors are at play in this alarming trajectory. The implications of a rapidly warming planet are dire, with potential feedback loops that could accelerate climate change, further leading to more severe environmental consequences. Adding to the complexity of the situation, fossil fuel emissions also reached unprecedented levels in 2024, highlighting the ongoing failure to address global warming effectively. Sieyès pointed out that many climate models assume that carbon absorption will remain stable, a premise that may no longer hold true if natural ecosystems continue to degrade. In a related development, the Trump administration's stance on science has also raised concerns within the medical community. Several prominent medical journals have reported receiving letters from the U.S. Department of Justice questioning their editorial practices and suggesting potential partisan bias. This has led to accusations of intimidation and threats to academic freedom, with The Lancet and other journals vocally defending their independence and the integrity of scientific inquiry. As the scientific community grapples with both the troubling data on climate change and the encroaching influence of political forces on research, the future of environmental policy and scientific integrity hangs in the balance. The recent trends underscore the urgent need for transparency and robust dialogue in addressing climate change. Scientists and policymakers alike must navigate these challenges to ensure that critical data is not only reported but also acted upon in meaningful ways to mitigate the impacts of a warming planet. The coming years will be crucial in determining whether the world can effectively combat climate change and preserve the integrity of scientific research against growing political pressures. A landmark nationwide study conducted in Norway has shed new light on the relationship between residual disease following cytoreductive surgery and survival outcomes in patients with advanced epithelial ovarian cancer (EOC). Published in the British Journal of Cancer, the research highlights how the presence of residual disease significantly impacts the long-term prognosis of patients diagnosed with stage 3 and 4 EOC, emphasizing the critical need for optimal surgical outcomes. The study, spearheaded by researchers Kasia B. Truan-Nybreton and her colleagues, analyzed data from 2608 patients diagnosed with invasive EOC between 2013 and 2022. Utilizing the Cancer Registry of Norway, the researchers aimed to evaluate how residual disease, defined as the remaining tumor tissue following surgery, affects survival rates, particularly across different tumor histotypes and sizes. The findings indicate that patients who achieved no macroscopic residual disease (NMRD) had significantly better survival outcomes, reinforcing the importance of complete tumor removal during surgery. Among the cohort, 1849 patients underwent cytoreductive surgery. The results were striking. Those with any residual disease faced an excess hazard ratio (EHR) of 2.62, indicating more than double the risk of mortality compared to their NMRD counterparts. Notably, patients with smaller residual disease 0.1 to 0.4 centimeters had a twofold increased risk of death, while those with larger residual disease 0.5 centimeters or more experienced nearly threefold higher mortality risks. These findings underscore how even minimal residual disease can have profound implications for patient survival. The study also evaluated the various histotypes of EOC, which include high-grade serous, low-grade serous, endometrioid, and mucinous tumors. Interestingly, no significant differences in survival were observed based on histotype when controlling for residual disease status, suggesting that the presence of residual disease may be a more critical factor than tumor type in determining outcomes. This challenges previous assumptions about the prognostic significance of histotype in EOC. In addition to examining the effects of residual disease, the study delved into the role of systemic anti-cancer therapy (SCT) in a subset of patients diagnosed after 2019. Among these patients, those who received neoadjuvant chemotherapy (NACT) and still had residual disease showed an elevated risk of death, particularly in those with diameters of 0.1 to 0.9 centimeters. The data suggest that achieving NMRD remains paramount regardless of the treatment strategy employed. The implications of this research extend far beyond Norway's borders, offering critical insights for clinicians worldwide. As highlighted by Truan-Nybreton, this study reinforces the importance of optimal surgical cytoreduction and improving survival outcomes for advanced ovarian cancer patients. It suggests a pressing need for standardized approaches to achieve NMRD in clinical practice. Moving forward, the findings beckon further investigation into how treatment protocols might be adapted to address residual disease more effectively, particularly in high-risk subpopulations. As researchers continue to explore the nuances of ovarian cancer treatment, the hope is to refine strategies that enhance survival and quality of life for those afflicted by this challenging disease. This study not only marks a significant advancement in understanding ovarian cancer prognosis but also serves as a clarion call for the medical community to prioritize meticulous surgical techniques in the management of advanced EOC. Tensions between the United States and China have continued to make headlines as the two nations grapple with escalating tariffs and trade negotiations. Recent developments indicate a potential softening in positions, with China reportedly easing some tariffs on U.S. goods, including semiconductors and pharmaceuticals, although President Trump's statements have created confusion regarding the state of these discussions. On April 25, reports surfaced that China had rolled back tariffs on certain U.S. imports, which could significantly benefit its tech sector under pressure from ongoing trade disputes. However, the Chinese government quickly issued a statement denying any active negotiations with the U.S., emphasizing that the U.S. should stop creating confusion. This contradictory messaging reflects the broader uncertainty characterizing U.S.-China relations, particularly as Trump has suggested he would only consider tariff reductions if China offers something substantial in return. The current landscape sees U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods reaching as high as 145%, while China retaliated with tariffs up to 125% on American imports. The U.S. administration is also exploring exemptions for specific items such as certain auto parts, which could further complicate the trade dynamics. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent hinted at a possible U.S.-South Korea trade deal in the coming week, showcasing the administration's push to negotiate with multiple partners simultaneously. Market reactions to these developments have been pronounced. On one hand, optimism surrounding potential tariff reductions has fueled rallies on Wall Street. On the other hand, companies across various sectors are bracing for the impacts of these tariffs on their bottom lines. A recent survey revealed that half of Americans expect significant price increases due to Trump's trade policies, with many corporations adjusting their profit forecasts downward in light of rising costs. Notably, companies like 3M and Kimberly-Clark have already revised their outlooks, underscoring the tangible effects of the tariff regime. As the administration navigates these complex negotiations, it faces mounting pressure from both domestic and international stakeholders. Major retailers including Walmart and Target have recently met with Trump, seeking relief from tariffs that destabilize supply chains and threaten consumer prices. Such discussions come amid a 90-day pause in escalating tariffs, a short time frame that many experts believe is insufficient for comprehensive trade negotiations. While some analysts speculate that tariffs could eventually be lowered to around 50 to 65%, the timeline and conditions for such reductions remain unclear. Former Cisco CEO John Chambers has suggested that companies like Apple could pivot production away from China, particularly to India, as they seek to mitigate tariff-related risks. This shift may signal a broader realignment of global supply chains, emphasizing the importance of strategic partnerships amid ongoing geopolitical tensions. As President Trump continues to send mixed signals about the trade war, the future of U.S.-China relations remains uncertain. The administration's approach involves balancing aggressive tariff tactics with diplomatic negotiations, a strategy that is proving to be as challenging as it is contentious. As both sides gear up for further discussions, the implications for global trade dynamics, corporate profitability, and consumer prices are set to unfold in the coming weeks and months, leaving markets and consumers alike on edge. In a remarkable confluence of creativity and scientific inquiry, researchers have announced the discovery of a new color, a hue so unique that it has only been experienced by a select few. This unprecedented color has been described as a groundbreaking addition to the spectrum, evoking excitement and curiosity in both the scientific community and the public alike. With only 5 individuals claiming to have witnessed this elusive shade, the implications of this discovery extend far beyond mere aesthetics. As scientists continue to unravel the complexities of color and perception, this new finding raises questions about the very nature of our visual experiences. In a separate but equally fascinating development, scientists have made significant strides in understanding the formation of electrical double layers (EDLs) in liquids, a phenomenon that occurs in the blink of an eye, specifically in less than a trillionth of a second. EDLs play a crucial role in numerous technologies, including batteries, capacitors, and biomedical devices, as they help regulate ionic movement and energy storage. However, capturing the dynamics of EDL formation has long posed a challenge due to the rapidity of the process. A team of researchers from the Max Planck Institute for Polymer Research has recently developed an innovative optical method to observe and analyze EDL formation in real time. Until now, it has not been possible to study the exact processes involved in the formation of the double layer, stated Misha Bon, one of the study's authors. This breakthrough involves using intense infrared laser pulses to perturb the ionic balance at the liquid's surface, allowing scientists to track how quickly ions return to their equilibrium state, thus re-establishing the EDL. This pioneering approach not only sheds light on the intricate processes that govern EDL formation, but also has far-reaching implications for the development of faster-charging batteries and more efficient biomedical devices. EDL is critical in electrochemical capacitors and transistors, on water chemistry and bioelectric technologies, the researchers noted, emphasizing the importance of understanding this phenomenon for various applications. However, while this method marks a significant advancement, it is essential to acknowledge its limitations. Currently, the experiments are confined to controlled laboratory settings and focus on specific ion types and concentrations. Nonetheless, the potential for future studies to expand upon these findings is immense, promising to unlock further advancements in energy storage technologies and medical applications. As the scientific community continues to explore both the aesthetic and functional dimensions of these discoveries, the future holds the promise of deeper insights into the interplay between color perception and electrochemical phenomena. The journey of discovery is ongoing, and as researchers delve into these uncharted territories, they may yet unveil further innovations that could shape our understanding of the world around us.